I want to go back on what Rick was saying about the Man United game, and if we think Spurs can go all the way. You're looking at the draw. It's Tottenham, Man United, which is obviously the tie of the round. Arsenal, Palace, Newcastle, Brentford, Southampton, Liverpool.
Rigged.
I mean, it's a tough tie for Arsenal, I think, because Palace are like turning the corner a bit now, and Arsenal are not going to play their first choice. And I think Palace will probably go full strength in that game. So I think that's a potential banana skin. Newcastle, Brentford, I think on any given day, anyone can win that tie.
St. James's.
At St. James's, they're obviously going to be favourites. Liverpool, Southampton, that's probably the easiest tie of the round. But Spurs, Man United, what are we thinking, guys? Macca, you think at home? I said just any tie at home. I don't care who we get. Just give us a home tie.
Yeah, same. Look, at the end of the day, League Cup, Carabao Cup, Milk Cup, fucking Rumbelows Cup, whatever you want to call it, right? The reality of the situation is this is the first time since 2009 that there's been 8 Premier League teams left in the quarterfinals.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, and also you need to know, you need to also know that the Premier League, is it's tough. It's the hardest league in the world. So, I mean, it is going to be tough, but like I agree with Ricky, I agree with you, Ben. Any home tie, that's what you want in the cups. We were so unlucky last time. Last year we got Fulham or whatever. We're not picking up any points, on our season tickets. So I'm going to these games. There's no Europe. I'm getting no points on my season tickets to get away games. Now I'm getting all these home draws. I'm getting points every time I go. I'm getting 4 points for Europa, 5 points for these games. That's great stuff, right? But no. I think the home draw is what you can answer for. I mean, I think there's a couple of things with Man United. It's an interesting one. I mean, they played brilliantly yesterday. By all accounts, scored loads of goals. They absolutely ruined Leicester.
Leicester B team, mate. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Leicester B team. But I think there's Ruud van Nistelrooy still got 3 games, I think, in charge before Amram comes, if he even does.
He will.
Which I'm sure he will, but and he'll be the new manager bounce or whatever. But we're on a home turf. We've already turned them over 3-0, and there's nothing to be worried or scared about. I don't think with United yet. I'm sure I like that Amram. I think he's going to be a good manager for them, but doesn't mean to say that they rock up and beat us. But it's cup football, so we don't know where we're going to be, how it's sandwiched between. I think it's on the 17th of December, is it? So 3 days or 4 days later, we've got Liverpool at home.
I think we may have Liverpool
in the league. So this is the thing. I think it's very difficult to prioritise stuff. But as fans, you want to look at that and go, well, actually, if we turn Man United over in the Carabao Cup and it meant that we couldn't get over the line against Liverpool in the league, and then we're still sitting there 9th, but we're now in the semi-final. I mean, it doesn't have to be one or the other, but if that is the case, would we be happy? Like, are you happier today knowing that we're in the next round of the Carabao Cup and just beat City rather than getting 3 points against Palace? Now, I know we want both, but actually, we're probably, if we're honest, the whole season's still ahead of us, right? You can claw them points back to get your top 3 finish that I predicted or top 5 finish or whatever. But once you're out of the cup, you're out, right? So actually, that where it becomes thing. I think our home draw against any of them is, that's great. I mean, away at Anfield would have been a nightmare. Away at Newcastle, they've been ruining us, and away at Old Trafford, you might go, okay, that's fair enough. Away at Arsenal would have been an absolute shit show. So
any away game then?
Isn't the semi-final 2 legs still? Is the semi-final?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So actually, we've got probably the best start. I mean, if we'd have got Southampton at home and not gone through, then what? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Southampton away. I mean, I've got a result.
We're going to win, and we didn't go. We lost in the semi-final them years ago. So yeah, I'm really happy with the bench. So I agree with both you and Ricky. I think home draw is the way forward.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Tim? We're going all the way?
Why not? We've got no one to fit. We just beat Man City, so why should we fear anyone at the moment? Especially if we can beat Man United, then as Macca says, it's 2 legs. We're guaranteed another home tie, regardless of what happens if we beat Man United. A final's always obviously it's a one-off game. I mean, imagine the prospect of playing someone like Arsenal in a final.
Would you prefer to get them over 2 legs or in a one-off in a final?
Well, Arsenal,
2 legs.
I think 2 legs.
2 legs.
Get into our stadium and get them over 2 legs. I'd love that for sure. I think the nerves of a final would be too much for me. I don't know if I can handle that.
Can you imagine that? A final against Arsenal? That would be the worst thing ever.
Man United, right, at home, obviously, we beat them. And then in the semi-final, we get Arsenal home and away. obviously the leg. So I think we're a match for most teams, if not all teams, in a two-legged tie. So I think we get Arsenal, and then in the final we get Liverpool, right? To right the wrong of the Champions League final. That would be perfect.
And then they get a handball given against them in the first minute.
And then we finish. After all those clubs we've beaten, then we finish 12th in the league.
I'm sorry, Macca. I love the idea of it, but to say a Carabao Cup is going to be righting the wrongs of a Champions League final?
Come on now.
So
for at least 2 seasons. I'm going 2 seasons, lads.
Do you know what Spurs, when you think about it? If we actually, like I say, on this journey that Mac is talking about, we've done Man City, we do Arsenal over a semi-final, and then and Man United in the quarterfinals, and then we beat Liverpool in a final, and then we finish mid-table. I mean, that would be so Spurs that you've beaten all those teams, and yet from a league perspective, we don't do the job. I mean, that's the thing I'm really intrigued about with certain fans. I think with the older generation, which probably I fall myself into now, that category, I think I'm so desperate to see a cup, boys, that I would quite happily sacrifice league position because I just want to win something. I just want to sort of be together at Wembley on that day. Can you just imagine that feeling, us all together, seeing our club finally win something? It's taken so long to get this trophy stigma off our back. I mean, that's what I would personally sacrifice. Not everybody's.
How low do you go, Rick? How low do you go?
Oh, here you go. But the younger generation, with no disrespect, the younger generation want to be in the Champions League, hear the Champions League music, but I just think we've come to a point with Tottenham, with no disrespect, and I don't want the show to be on a downer. I think we know publicly Spurs are crying out for investment. They're telling us we need investment, right? So the reality is that I don't think we're going to see a massive difference in terms of real enhancement in the first team until there's a change in terms of the investment coming into the football club. So that's why, in my opinion and my feeling, I want to see Spurs go all out for the cup competitions, because I just don't feel we're quite there yet in a league perspective. We're still learning under Ange. It's a very, very young squad. And you boys heard it all those years ago from ex-players, you know, before the Champions League final. Winning breeds winning. And they all said it. When you get that first trophy over the line, it gives you the confidence you can do it again and again and again. And because it's taken so long, this club has not got any sense of a winning culture inside of it, that we need to get that back inside the club. So players actually feel when they're signing for Tottenham, we can win here. And that is what is severely lacking. And that's why, for me, I want to see us really take the cup competition seriously. Doing really well in the League Cup. Don't let that, diminish what the FA Cup will be when it comes around. And like I said, we've made a really strong start to the Europa League. So just my personal opinion, everybody's got their own out there in terms of their preference over cup and league position. I really want to see Spurs approach this season with a real focus and integrity on the cups, which is why I was so happy last night, by the way, Ange took the competition so seriously. Because as soon as that lineup come up, boys, we all knew we're serious about this. We're not messing around.
100%. Yeah, I don't think anyone could complain about his team selection yesterday. I think he picked a really strong side. If I'm just giving a bit of context to the quarterfinal against United and the fixtures surrounding that date. So the weekend before the quarterfinal, we play Southampton away, and Man United are away to Man City in the Manchester Derby. Then we got obviously the quarterfinal, and then the weekend after that, we are at home to Liverpool, and Man United are at home to Bournemouth. So some interesting fixtures surrounding that game. I wonder, if obviously are United playing Man City that's going to be a very taxing game for them potentially. Do they come into the Spurs game with some injuries, or maybe do they have to rest players after that game? It's going to be interesting.
I think they'll definitely coming into it with a bit of fatigue, because that Man City game is going to take a lot out of them. So I'd rather have the harder game afterwards than before, to be honest, because look, away to Liverpool. Is it away or at home to Liverpool? Either way, I mean, we rarely get a result off Liverpool year in, year out. I know we just about got over the line last year, but we were very lucky to do so in that game. The offside goal and everything that should have been given. But if you could ask me right now, would I take the win over Man United or Liverpool? I'd take the win over Man United 10 times out of 10. So I'd rather have that easier game before, so we can get, I wouldn't say rest, because there's never a rest in a 90-minute period in the Premier League, but it's going to take more out of you playing Man City away than it will Southampton away.